A very good evening to you all. Welcome to the English News Bulletin. And for this edition, we'll begin with the headlines. The RPF Inkotanyi presidential candidate Paul Kagame has stressed that Rwanda is never on the defensive when it comes to national security, and anyone trying to destabilize it will quickly learn that truth. On Saturday, Prime Minister Dr. Edouard Ngirente held discussions with his counterpart on the Central African Republic, Felix Mulua. My name is Olive Nete. It's always a pleasure to have your company. And in today's bulletin, we'll focus on the election campaigns that have been ongoing since the past week. Now, the RPF Inkotanyi presidential candidate Paul Kagame has stressed that Rwanda is never on the defensive when it comes to national security, and anyone trying to destabilize it will quickly learn that truth. The candidate made the remarks on Saturday in Nyamasheke district of the Western Province while campaigning in front of thousands of supporters. Serge Nore kicks us off tonight.
Bravo, bravo, Nyamasheke!
The welcome for the candidate was feverish, with multitudes up in arms in their support for him, and in his message to them, Paul Kagame made it clear that national security is a top priority in his function as a leader.
Barabigerageje n'ubundi nyine kenshi. Ariko banibagirwa n'ibyo tubabwira buri munsi.
They have tried to do it many times before, forgetting what we have told them often. That, and I do not believe there is a need to repeat the Kinyarwanda proverb because you know it. Rwanda is never on the defensive when it comes to national security. I have told them this many times, noting that our country is small, and they played a role in that because they are the ones that partitioned it. Regardless, I have told them that because Rwanda is small, we will not wait to be attacked here. We will go to them because they have a big country and fight there. After all, we must protect our small country and deal with such problems elsewhere.
Noneho tukajya mu binini tukabirangirizayo.
The incumbent in the presidential race also made another important point clear.
Nawe dusaba uruhushya ngo aduhe uburenganzira bwo kwirinda. Turirinda.
We do not seek permission from anyone for the right to protect ourselves. That is something we always do. So I urge those who think they can attack Rwanda to humble themselves so that we can coexist and trade with each other so that we can all develop. If that is not something that they want, then it's not my problem.
Twese tukiteza imbere. Nibatabishaka ntibindeba.
Nyamasheke residents are particularly happy about the fact that they are now considered as much Rwandans as the rest of the country, which was not the case before the country was liberated in 1994. They say that because the RPF made this possible for them and introduced development they had previously not known, they intend to continue supporting the party moving into the future.
Thank you, Serge, for the details. Now, moving ahead, the independent presidential candidate Philippe Maimana has been campaigning in the districts of Ruhango and Kamonyi in the southern province, where he has announced that, given the opportunity to lead, he would put a lot of emphasis on developing settlements. Serge Nore once more.
On Saturday, the independent candidate first went to Ruhango district, where he told those who gathered to listen to his message that the coming presidential mandate should focus on developing local leaders at the settlement level. I want settlement leaders to be the symbol of the mandate that we are about to step into, and I believe you should agree with me on that because settlement leaders are important and should be supported the way teachers were. Later in Kamonyi district, Philippe Maimana met with local residents at his second campaign site of the day, many of them youths who asked him how he intends to develop local sports if elected. When it comes to the youth and sports, I have repeatedly asked that sectors be given a budget for sporting facilities and events, and I believe they should have that. Such a budget would encourage talent development at the lowest level through matches organized between cells in games like football. In fact, we are soon to officially inaugurate the Amahoro National Stadium, and I believe my proposal over time would transform even the national team, Amavubi, and make them contenders on the continental level, something we have failed to do for years. We should have at least one player of international status on our team. Kamonyi becomes the 12th district that Maimana has campaigned in, asking for Rwandans to have enough confidence in his leadership abilities to vote him into the office of the President of the Republic.
Thank you, Serge, for the details. Now, on other matters, on Saturday, Prime Minister Dr. Edouard Ngirente held discussions with his counterpart of the Central African Republic, Felix Mulua, that tackled strengthening existing relations between the two countries. Prince Manzi with the details.
Felix Mulua, the Prime Minister of the Central African Republic, and his delegation are in Rwanda for an official visit aimed at strengthening bilateral relations, particularly in the economy and security fields.
We
have heard the will of both sides. We discussed and understood what Rwanda needs, and it aligns with what we as the Central African want. We hope that our cooperation between the two countries will be a good example for other African countries. Let's build brotherhood and unity as Africans. This is why we're in Rwanda today. The Rwandan Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Ambassador Olivier Nduhungirehe, reiterates that the bilateral relations between Rwanda and the Central African Republic are efficient and solution-based as Africans. If Africans can collaborate to achieve stability, it sets a good example for other African countries, and the African Union is also willing to have a way of generating own solutions as Africans. Apart from that, there's also economic partnerships. We consider intra-Africa cooperation aimed at enhancing investment and support. Through the MINUSCA and bilateral relations between Rwanda and the Central African Republic, Rwandan forces are in Central Africa in peacekeeping mission. In the economic sector, the two countries eased investment procedures for the private sector through various agreements.
Thank you, Prince, for the detailed report. Now back to campaign matters. The Social Democratic Party has pledged to prioritize the development of tourism and productive marketable agriculture in the Rubavu and Musanze districts if elected. This commitment was reiterated during their campaign in these districts. On Saturday, we have details. A large crowd of Social Democratic Party members from across the country gathered to campaign for the upcoming elections. As an allied party of RPF in Otanyi, PST is supporting RPF's presidential candidate, Paul Kagame, and campaigning for its own deputies in the parliamentary elections. These campaign activities took place at the Nengu football pitch in Rubavu and the Ugoroherni Stadium in Musanze. The party members joyfully sang songs praising Paul Kagame, emphasizing their strong support for him as president and expressing their desire for his continued leadership. The reason why we support Paul Kagame is because in the past, women did not have access to finance or opportunities to earn money independently. They often relied solely on their husbands, even for basic necessities like clothing. However, now we complement each other as spouses, both contributing to the household's prosperity.
Kagame has given us life. Indeed, he embodies life itself. We have achieved everything because of his leadership. He stands as a pillar of unity, democracy, and development.
Muhakwa Valence, Vice President of the Social Democratic Party, highlighted that Rubavu and Musanze are renowned for their tourism destinations and agricultural activities. He assured voters that if they elect PSD candidates to parliamentary seats, the party will focus on further developing these two crucial sectors.
This district is particularly known for tourism, and we've taken that into close consideration. We have vowed that every district should have a master plan highlighting its tourist destinations. This way, when foreigners visit, they will know which tourist attraction to explore. Regarding agriculture, our focus is on acquiring high-quality seeds that increase productivity per hectare, as well as providing effective manure. We are also committed to training farmers so they can preserve their productivity and ensure their production reaches to the market fresh. This approach aims to maximize their earnings significantly.
In their upcoming mandate, the Social Democratic Party has presented 60 ideas in their manifesto. They explain these ideas to the public to gain support for their parliamentary candidates. Party members believe that these ideas will accelerate the country's development.
We are pleased with this party by choosing to support the president in these elections. We also vote for many of their candidates to represent us in the parliament, ensuring they advocate for us on various issues in the government.
What I loved the most about their plans is the establishment of a financial institution to support agricultural activities and livestock. This will give every Rwandan in need the opportunity to easily obtain a loan with a 10% interest rate. Dr. Ngabitsinze Chrysostom, General Secretary of the Social Democratic Party, noted that their campaign activities have been proceeding well so far.
The manifesto of Social Democratic Party PSD consists of plans aimed at country's development. Since its establishment, PSD has focused on ensuring a good quality of life for all Rwandans and promoting justice.
The Social Democratic Party has 59 candidates vying in the parliamentary elections. The Liberal Party has assured residents of the Southern Province that one of its primary priorities is advocating for increased infrastructure development in areas where needed infrastructures are not yet established. This initiative aims to facilitate ongoing development and progress for all residents. We have details. On the 5th day of their campaign activities, the Liberal Party commenced in Ruhango district. The event drew attendance from party members and others interested in hearing their manifesto.
We want to establish a hospital in Miyombe because it is hard for residents in that area to access medical services. We also request them to increase technical vocational schools. All residents also want to lead a better life without poverty, a developed life. Every resident would love to have a home without having to rent.
In the afternoon, the Liberal Party also conducted a campaign in Musambira sector, Kamonyi district. During this session, community members highlighted specific areas requiring enhancement, which could be prioritized by the party's deputies if elected in the parliamentary elections. We would like them to come back once elected and see how far we have reached. We would like to request them to advocate for us so that we can have an asphalt road to Rukoma because it is damaged. There's also another road to Mukunguri which also leads to the Nyagihamba hospital. We also look forward to see that road repaired so that we can access the hospital easily because that road has been severely damaged. The first Vice President of the Liberal Party, Honorable Theogene Munyangeyo, emphasized that they will prioritize the concerns expressed by the people and ensure they are prominently addressed. He further assured the public of their commitment to collaborate with others in finding effective solutions.
The activities that the residents of Kamonyi want to see established is all about development that all Rwandans are looking for. They want fast development. We look forward to collaborate with others as we Rwandans vowed to collaborate and partner as all political parties. But the good thing about Rwanda is that we all stand for the country's development, so when we get to know the needs of residents, we give them priority. This entails knowing what they are entitled to, so that we can solve their problems. We believe that as the Liberal Party we will give priority to this, and they also shared this with others. So when we put efforts together, we advocate for the most of what is the priority, and the country already started to work on it.
The Liberal Party is among 8 political parties that have formed a coalition with RPF Inkotanyi to endorse their presidential candidate, Paul Kagame. Additionally, the party is actively campaigning for its 54 deputy candidates. On July 2nd, they will continue their campaign activities in Karongi and Rutsiro districts. Moving ahead, residents and members of the RPF Inkotanyi Gasawe and Nyabihu districts have expressed their readiness to vote for RPF Inkotanyi candidates in the upcoming presidential and parliamentary elections scheduled for July. Their decision is based on the achievements of the party and the promises made for future development. Adam Skizera has more.
In Gasawe district, the campaign rally for the parliamentary candidates of the RPF Inkotanyi took place, with residents showing strong support for the party's achievement and future promises.
What they reiterated on includes placing citizens at the center and improving infrastructure. In fact, based on what they have done and plan to do, I'm eager to support them as a resident. We know our choice well, and we have good leadership, which we demonstrate through our actions and emotions.
Nyabihu district was also the next stop of the RPF Inkotanyi coalition parliamentary campaign trail. The rally brought together a large crowd from all sectors across the district, gathering at the Rambura site, particularly here in the Rambura sector, formerly known as the Karago commune. Its so powerful rulers who planned and carried out genocide against Tutsi were born. 30 years after Rwanda's liberation, the residents of Nyabihu district acknowledged that they all marched to the RPF Inkotanyi for strengthening unity and reconciliation, promoting development activities and creating opportunities for the youth who were born after the genocide. These youth are now ready to make the right choice in the upcoming elections by supporting the RPF Inkotanyi.
We faced disasters in our sector, and you saw how our candidate did his best to find shelter for those affected. Previously, there was no infrastructure or electricity. Therefore, I have a reason to vote for him. For the first time in Rwanda, Rwandans are united. Infrastructures have been improved, women were promoted, and we were given education. Instead of being a hub of negativity, we are now a much better place.
The RPF Inkotanyi parliamentary candidates addressed the residents and members of the party, highlighting the significant progress achieved over the past years, while emphasizing that much more is planned for the next 5 years. They assured the public that their development agenda will continue, promising accelerated progress and ensuring that its benefits reach to everyone. Adam Skizera, RwandaTV News.
To other matters, students at the University of Rwanda, supported by the MasterCard Foundation, have been urged to become the catalyst for the sort of change people's social welfare around the world needs. The call was made as they concluded a training to help them to score better grades in their courses, become better future leaders and job creators after they complete their studies. MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program supports both Rwandan and foreign students at the University of Rwanda with good grades that are unable to cover their own tuition fees and other expenses. The initiative was born back in 2021 when an agreement was signed between the MasterCard Foundation and the University of Rwanda that would see 1,200 students assisted over a period of 10 years. So far, 305 undergraduates have been assisted, as well as 25 postgraduate students, 80% of them of whom undertook courses in sciences. We sincerely thank you for being part of our news today. Have a restful weekend. Take care and goodbye.